And we are live!
Nope. 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 Nope.
My name's Jeff.
Nope. Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
alright. Cut! Cut!
God, Jesus.
Alright, we are here. The Bayou
Is
Banana.
your on-air sign new? I've never seen that before.
No, it's been there forever.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We are live here to react to episode 4, Masters of the Air. We have Air Force mechanic, Air Force electrician. We got lawyers, CFOs, chief financial officers, accountant.
Auditors.
Elected officials. I'm also a politician.
Last week you put liquid paper on a bee, and it died. No, but a lot of different Step Brothers. You haven't seen that?
I don't
Yeah.
remember that from it.
Oh, he's like black leather gloves, research and development. Last week we put liquid paper on a bee, and it died. It was during the presentation. But we have a lot of different
Wow.
backgrounds, a lot of different inputs on episode 4, a lot of different perspectives on what they thought of episode 4. So we're gonna do this 15 seconds real quick. We'll go in a C. So it's me. We'll go Baleen, Bengal, and then Philly. Okay, because that's the way I'm looking at it right now. Okay, we're live, episode 4. So first things first, myself being a mechanic, when I saw that mechanic scene for Ken Lemons, they call him Corporal. He was also a Master Sergeant by the end of the war, but he's wearing Master Sergeant now. Don't know what the hell's going on with that, but whatever. With him being in top of the gear, fixing the plane, doing whatever it takes, and then his emotions when the plane doesn't come back, because is he thinking, did I do something wrong? Did I mess up? Did I cause that plane not to come home? That guilt has to be there and everything. So just seeing that representation of my career field and everything was pretty awesome. And because they're the unsung heroes of the war for sure. Like the bombers, the pilots, we have the show about it, but who the hell are the mechanics? It's pretty cool to see them showing that. All right, Blaine, go.
Okay. Every series from Bandit Brothers, this one and the Pacific, they all have their slow episodes. This was one of those slow episodes. I'm not saying it was a bad episode, but I think it was just one of those slower episodes because I think we're about to ramp up into the fun. Well, I wouldn't really say fun, but the
Nope.
more darker side of the 100th Bomb Group. So, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
That's my 15 seconds.
Bengal.
I'm sorry. I got food in my mouth. Go,
Wow.
go, Philly.
Go Philly.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Episode 4. A lot of people say episode 5 is the best one. I like episode 4 because episode 4 is obviously the first one to come out. It's the first of the series. It's where you're introduced to Darth Vader. You're introduced to Luke Skywalker. You're introduced to all of them. It's a great story. I mean, it really is fantastic. If you look at it from the
What do you like,
Anyway.
incest?
there's also
That's episode
a lot of
4.
in
5.
Star Wars. All the ships, they use War II fighter planes as how they maneuver and how they turn and everything in space. That's how
Why
they
do they have wings?
Because it's fun.
Bingo,
It's-
I do want to know.
It's a
though,
space fantasy, not sci-fi.
I do want to know. We're having a podcast here, and I'm just really curious of who you're looking at.
Oh, I'm looking at my computer. Look,
Because
I'm looking at
weird.
y'all.
It is
That's
weird.
me looking at you, looking at me.
Okay.
Wow.
So you didn't like episode 4, I reckon, correct?
that's what
So-
I'm getting at.
So
Let's get into it. All right, everybody.
I was expecting a slow episode, like Baleen said. They all have slow
Mhm.
episodes.
Mhm.
The difference is, to me, the slow episodes, like whatever Band of Brothers Pacific, were like deep episodes and like some of gut wrenching and like actually some of them I tear up to. The slow episodes. This slow episode I thought was poorly done. I just thought was just
Yeah. To that
just-
point, I thought it was unnecessarily slow. There was topics and points that they could have hit throughout to make it not slow or not quite as slow. And they just went for the emotional gut wrench, and I feel like they missed on several occasions there. I do
Yeah.
buy you. We can talk about more about it. I didn't consider your point that you said about him, thinking did he do it? But we can get into that later.
The scene, everybody wants to throw the unnecessary love scene. I will say that it was only 12% of the episode. Crunch some numbers.
12% is unnecessarily
It
long
had
for that.
7 minutes. 7 minutes was
Unless
that.
there's some relevance for that later, it just was not necessary.
or nipples.
Okay. Well, I don't think the nipples really go into a storyline at all. But I do
Turn up the
think.
brightness.
So the whole thing about Buck was he was going through PTSD, or they called it. And it really starts when the commander of the bomb group was saying, like, hey, the doc was saying that you guys are flak happy, that you guys basically were going through PTSD. And he was just shooting it down. Like, in the book that I was reading and some of the podcasts that I've been listening to, is that they were shooting a lot of those ideas of them having PTSD, them needing to miss some missions or get some days off, and they were just dismissing it and whatnot. And so I think they were trying to convey that the stress of everything, and that, you know what, however he can go blow off steam, whether it be healthy or not, and everything. And yeah, he fell in love,
Yeah.
or not fell in love. I don't think
I mean,
that's
to-
love.
Yeah. To your point a little bit there, Bayou, right? I think that kind of gets in. They got into a little bit here where they seemingly a lot of the guys were just trying to grind through missions to get home.
Yeah.
Right? They mentioned 25 missions and you were home. Some of these guys by this point in the war were at 20 missions, 21 missions, somewhere around there, I think they said. So, them grinding it without any type of real break is a good point there.
Well, yeah. Well, they were saying, the Buck was saying the way to survive is to get past 11 missions, which statistically wasn't going to
Well,
happen.
that's just a point, yeah.
Yeah, which really 15 was the 8th Air Force, but the 100th and how bad their missions had gone so far, 11, like their average death and everything, their death toll was a lot higher than the rest of the 8th. So I think that kind of went into that stress as well. They've lost a lot of friends. I know, however you don't want to look at the love scene, it wasn't really a love, but whatever. That scene with him in the telephone booth talking in code, I thought that was great. I thought
Cool.
that was,
There definitely
And
was
it's
cool
true.
points.
That actually happened.
yes, I thought that was pretty cool. And
Got me excited for baseball season too.
yes, college baseball starts this Friday. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big LSU fan. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Yeah.
Well, Tiger.
What else was up with the episode? What are we thinking?
Yeah, so I mean, if we want to start at the beginning, right? The complete and utter gloss over of what happened in Africa after they just had this huge mission to get there. All of them are shot to shit. They just kind of landed in the desert. We didn't really know what happened from there forward. To literally not even, to my recollection, mentioned what really happened, how they got out of there. I felt like was a
Well,
disservice.
it did show the
It showed the vehicles coming.
at a
That's all I
distance. They're like,
remember.
here they come. So
Yeah, but I mean, how far are your planes from being fixed? How long were they actually there for? What the heck did they have to
Yeah,
do the whole time? What were they hearing from back home from the mission that they just got obliterated from? All their friends are on the ground, spread out across
I think
Germany
I read
and Belgium
2
at the
months
time.
passed from in between episodes. Is a 2-month gap, is what I read.
Yeah. So that.
But, like, did they take those planes home? Did they fix those planes up? Did they have to get new planes in there? Or did they just get transports in to fly them back home? Like, all this stuff I felt, and I feel like this is stuff that we all talked about at the end of last episode, right?
Yeah.
Oh, curious to see where they go with this. Well, the answer was nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
That's what I just mean. Like, points like that, they could have added a little bit more flavor to this episode
Mhm.
to not make it quite so one level.
Yeah, and my biggest, really, I guess. I mean, I have a bunch of little complaints about it. Like, I just thought it was I don't know. It's just I guess I thought the script of it was just poorly done, like what you're talking about right now. They just left some things out. But this is the beginning of their Black Week, is what they call it, and they go this bomb run. What's the character's name? Elvis actor.
Buck.
What's his?
That's Buck.
Gail
Yeah,
Clevens. No, that's
Clevens.
Bucky. He's talking
Yeah.
about Bucky.
So
Oh, it's
Clevens
the other way. No, am I wrong?
Clevens went on this bomb run at the beginning of Black Week, and massive bomb run. It's very famous, all this kind of stuff. Well, they just glaze over that. So I'm curious. It's either the next episode they're gonna go back and show the actual bomb run, which I'm presuming they're gonna do, and show him get shot down, da da da, or it was just for budget constraints. They're like, we can't show that one, so we're gonna do this episode. We're not gonna show any of it. Just say he got shot down. And the next episode is gonna show him on the ground and
That
blah,
would
blah,
say that would save it for me because I'm with you, Eddie. That was the other main point that I wanted to bring. Africa and this. It's like
and that's
this
all I can
main,
figure.
this main huge character that they put 4 episodes into developing.
Yeah, that was odd.
And then
That
it was
odd.
just like a glance over. Oh yeah,
They're like,
he's
oh
dead.
yeah, he was shot down.
I
So,
think they're going
I think
back.
one or two things. I think one or two things is going to happen. They're going to open up the next one, literally guns a-blazing. This is my thoughts. I have 2 ideas of how they will start this. Me personally, I love film. I love movies and television, and I love whenever it tells a story. My camera is all fuzzy, whatever. Let me do this. Hold on. There we go. There we go. We're back. Anyway, so what I was saying was I think they're going to come out guns a-blazing this next episode in the middle of the mission, just fully into the flak all the way down to where he crashed. Because if you know the story of Bucky, he did survive the war.
Well, you see it in the opening credits.
Exactly. And so we know what's
I
about
actually
to
didn't
happen
know that.
to Bucky.
Womp womp.
Sorry you didn't watch the opening credits, 4 episodes in.
He hits that skip button. He hits that skip.
He
He hears
does.
the music and he's like, skip.
I saw it the first time. I see that Buck ends up with his girl or something. I'm like, all right, well, that's weird. So I assume he was dead.
So the second idea I have is it's going to be after he crashes. And it's going to show him kind of, trying to survive. But to keep the attention of the viewer, I think they're going to go guns a-blazing into it.
I hope so. I hope they do. I hope it wasn't just like for budget constraints. So like we have
I
so
don't think
many
so.
air
don't
battles we're doing. We got to cut this one because we
I
got
think-
a bigger one coming.
Talking about surviving, though, I did like. Sorry to kind of switch gears here, but I did like it showing the guys that are on the ground in Belgium.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. That was
The
really
Maquis?
interesting. How
Monkey, whatever the.
That,
yeah.
yeah, them catch like the whole interrogation and didn't think anything of it. Then the guy got his head blown off saying that he was a spy. I was like, holy
Oh,
shit.
I missed something there. I didn't rewatch the episode because was there something that you were supposed to catch? Like how they know he was? Because I didn't catch it. I didn't.
Because like off script, right? Just like watching
Yeah,
it
'cause I
straight
was
through.
like,
I didn't
whoa.
see anything. I'm like, oh, all
Yeah.
these guys are just talking about
They
typical
didn't.
American
They didn't
stuff.
say he did this, and I was like, so I was
he
or
did.
did that?
He
I don't
asked for a
remember.
light. He asked for a light, and they emphasized the light.
There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a couple of the things that I caught that could have been is that he knew all the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't think am I a bad American if I don't think I could just
Go. Go.
I can't.
Do it.
Oh, yes, you know it.
I feel like I'm gonna be like the German in Saving Private Ryan. Oh, say can.
Why
But the whole
like
thing I couldn't do it. I'll mess up.
Yes, you can.
I could not.
But if you're
So
under
if I-
pressure with a
if I
gun in your
rewatch-
head,
If
you would be
if
like,
I'm under pressure, I
uh,
think it'd be even
yeah.
worse.
yeah,
I
that's
can
what
do
I'm
the
saying.
US
I
national
rewatched
anthem
episode,
and the
I think
Canadian national
he
anthem.
was the only one to sing it, while the other 2 guys were kind of mumbling.
started
their
humming.
Yeah, no. That's a very good point. Like, I didn't think
Oh,
about that.
that's true.
Yeah.
That one guy was like, no.
A spy would have been trained to learn the whole fucking thing. He
He sang it like he was like, oh,
Yeah.
say again. Yeah.
he asked about Babe Ruth him playing for the Dodgers, and right away they're like, Babe Ruth never played for the Dodgers, so that could have been a thing because he played for the Red Sox before the Yankees.
Mhm.
And then the date. He asked them to write the date, and Americans write the date differently
Uh-huh.
than the Europeans.
Oh yes. Oh
Wait,
yes.
did he
That's
write
right.
it like
Good
18
pickup.
September? or whatever
Yes.
it was?
It didn't show, but those were some of the questions that I was like, all right, this could be where he messed up. When I was listening to the podcast, they were saying that Americans behind enemy lines, there were certain things that walking with their hands in their pockets was a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
thing.
Don't do that.
Messing with
How you hold
three,
cigarettes.
yeah, holding cigarettes.
Don't hold it like this. You hold it like this
Yeah,
with
they
your
hold 'em.
thumb.
Little things like
Uh,
that Americans did differently.
I thought we were the podcast.
We
Oh
are
yeah,
the
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Oh,
There is no other podcast.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've been listening to the making of the Masters of the Air, which is this latest episode was really good. They had
It was good.
Captain Dale Day, who is like the military expert for
They'll die.
Dale Day. Yeah, thank you.
People
He's,
that should be on
I'm
after
gonna try to fix
the
my camera
episode.
for y'all.
yes. Oh jeez.
This is great for.
But I thought
Sure.
that so the seriousness of the resistance though, and how they're like, yo, what the hell are you doing with this letter and everything. I thought that was just really good because if the Belgians get caught, their whole family's getting killed and or sent to a gulag or concentration camp and whatnot. Like they really were putting everything out on a limb to try to help these guys get back. Talked with Bengal a little bit about this. The reason why they're going all the way to Spain is because all of the ports in France are German occupied and whatnot, and in Belgium as well. So they're trying to go to Spain, which is neutral. Then they can go to Gibraltar, which is owned by the British,
Mhm.
and then they can get a ship back to England. So that's why.
Yeah. I mean that made sense.
The reason why they're trying to go to Paris, probably because all the railroads lead there.
Yeah, I just thought it was like overly dramatic with the guy running through the train car making a big hoopla. The Nazis are right outside. Like you're telling me that wouldn't have created enough commotion, or one person on that train wouldn't have like pointed out to somebody what this guy was doing or saying. I felt like that was over the top.
I'm excited to read the book after because I don't want to think like, did this actually happen? Because I'm scared I'll find something out that I don't.
You don't want to find out Bucky survives?
Well, I knew that. They show that, but I'm curious that if that actually happened, like the whole train ride and everything. I wonder if that was real. I also was thinking about it. Like I lived in Germany for 4 years, and it was not nearly what it was like in the 40s. But I did get lost in France at one point though.
Tread
And
carefully here by you.
what? Oh.
Making comparisons to modern day Germany to the 1940s.
No, but I'm talking. So what I'm trying to get at is that you're in a country and you don't speak the language. Like in Japan, a lot of the times they
They
don't
all
speak
speak
English.
English. They all speak English in Germany and France. They all do.
But they won't speak it to you.
They
There's
did
a
to me. They did.
There's a difference
What?
between speaking it and then just like. But you could imagine him though. All right, it was.
No, that's a different. I'm talking about today. I'm
Yeah,
talking about today.
it's because you're going up Das Breckensee English.
Yes,
No.
I am.
Meine Deutsch ist
Yeah.
sehr gut. I can speak really good German, by the way. Thank you very much. But
It is shoulder to go.
oh God, that would explain it. No, but being there and
That's
he
fine.
didn't speak the language, and he was also cooped up in that house for a month the whole time. And they did allude to that. He was like, I never thought I'd be
Yeah,
in a
no, I liked his storyline through when the girl, kind of took over, like them finding the note on him from his lover and being like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing? Somebody catches you with this. You
Mhm.
killed everybody." Like that part was good. The train was good in general. I just didn't love the whole, okay, we've arrived in Paris, all these Nazis are now around outside, and now you're running through screaming in the train car, and that's not supposed to
He didn't
turn eyes at
scream.
you.
He didn't scream. I just rewatched that scene.
I
She
did
said,
find
stop, and she was like whispering.
because on the other podcast that we shall not speak of, because no other podcast exists in the world other than this one. They mention the father and daughter duo that got all of those all the pilots down to Spain, to the Spanish border, and then they got them down. And it was like a younger girl and her dad. And so then I went down a Wikipedia, like just went down the rabbit hole reading through all that. I mean, I've never heard of that story before. That was I'm looking for actively looking for a book now to read on that. That was
What
very fascinating.
what did they say it was? She was like 14 or something like that.
Yeah, she was a young girl, and the dad. I mean, they just from Belgium, of course, Germany, France, all these pilots that were shot down, and these two people, this young girl and this dad, like put together this whole deal to rescue all these people, and got all these people together throughout in Paris, and they, like Bayou was saying, they'd ship them all down into Paris and move them all down to Spain. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable. It's insane. And that's one of those things, like, if you think about if you're in that situation. My daughter's 11 years old. If I was in that situation and that was happening and I had my little girl, would I be like, this is what we're going to do? We're going to secretly, I'm going to put our lives on the line and put my daughter's life, and I'm going to do this. I wish I would say I would do that because that's the right thing to do. But realistically, no, because I'd be too fucking scared. I'm not going to do that. And I'm man enough to say that. I would be too scared to do that.
Why didn't seem like
Because
an
I
opportune
don't
moment for
want
her
to get
start
killed. I don't want
freaking
my
out.
daughter to get killed, and whatever else they're gonna do to her before they kill her and all that shit. You just
Lebensborn.
could go with the flow, and that's what all those people did. I mean, millions of people did. They just put their heads down and went about their business.
Well, not only
But
that, or just like see you doing it and then rat on you and get a reward for it.
Mhm.
yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah, fuck
'Cause
those people.
if they got found with their dog tags, that was a crazy thing. Like, what if some of these prisoners were Jewish and whatnot,
Mm.
and they got found? If they didn't have their dog tag, they'd be treated as a spy. Because if you don't have your dog tag, you don't have to be treated under the Geneva Code. If you're found with a Jewish dog tag, like, what's going to happen then? Like, that whole escape
That's
and evading is adds a little different thing, and I'm glad that they're following that. The book that I read about the 369th bomb group, I think over 500 were shot down, or POWs that lived, and only 55 of them made it back to England. Like, it
Oh
was
God.
very
Sheesh.
low percentage of people. A lot of
Damn.
them got caught or killed.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't mind that story arc. Like, I think it's really cool that they're showing you the other aspect of it, like what happens after they get shot down. Like,
Well, I hope Baleen, your first idea of the next episode comes true. I hope they show this mission because I was reading on it on that particular mission. There was 13 planes from the 100th, and they were the
Yeah.
low bomb group. Only one of them made it back,
Holy shit.
and 13 planes. Only one of them made it to the initial point, the IP of the bomb run, and that sole surviving plane is the only one that made it back. And it said by the time he landed, he had 2 engines shot out, both waist gunners severely wounded, oxygen and communication systems damaged, a large hole ripped in the plane's right wing. And
As soon,
somehow he made it back. I don't know how he made it back. But.
as soon as the oxygen's damaged, that's not good. Because as soon as that's damaged, you have to go down below 10,000 feet.
hypoxia.
Yes, exactly. And so then the closer you are to there, the flat can get you even easier.
I don't know how
whatnot.
he made it back. I don't. And it said he had a quote when he landed back at Thort Abbott's. The pilot said, "I'm through flying these damn things." He said, "That's enough. I'm done."
Well, that goes into like their the commander of the bomb group was saying like you guys aren't flak happy, and you saw that tension between him and Buck, and was like, hey, like you're flak happy talking about going to bomb Hitler's freaking hidey hole and all this.
Yeah.
We're the ones going up there. He hasn't even been on a mission, which is
Yeah, the new guys you're talking about coming in. Is that what you mean?
no, their commander.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh, yes. I know
Mhm.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. It is cool to see Rosenthal. He's a lawyer. Eddie, I don't know if you knew that, but
No, I didn't.
You really didn't pay attention to
Which
the
which
episode at
one's
all.
Rosenthal?
Yeah, which one was Rosenthal?
He's one of the new guys flying in their skivvies with the mustache.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, he's gonna go by the name of Rosie for the rest of the series. But yeah, he was a lawyer.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
He's probably
with
dead.
the new guys, they brought him in. Once again, made a pointless love story for a guy that just dies right away.
I
Didn't
don't
love
know
that
if it's
either.
pointless, but it goes to the thing because those USO girls. So I'll say this: the USO in their clubs were not serving alcohol in the 306 bomb group. I doubt they were in the 100th, but whatever. If that's necessary, whatever. But the USO girls, that was the thing. And then like a lot of the girls were there, and then like their lovebird or something wouldn't be back. And I don't know. I think that's what they're trying to convey and everything. That hey, like you might be the last pretty
Yeah,
thing I ever see, and then he's dead.
I get it, but they could have done it with like a more prominent character and not introduce somebody for 5 minutes.
Well, I think it goes to that they're bringing in these replacements and they're dying right off the
Yeah,
bat too.
yeah.
Like it's showing that, like
They could have
I
still
don't
done
know,
that.
we got attached to Biddick, and then they fucking kill him. It's like, yo, fuck, where is he? That's upsetting. I miss Biddick. He's only there for a short time, and I like this character arc. At least I'm not. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even going back to like the babyface stuff on the train, where the guy like picked that moment to do it. Like they were on a farm for 2 months together. He told me not any other point in time they were
I
gonna.
got the same house.
Well, they may have been in the same place. They may have been separated. I don't know. But yeah, maybe they were on the same farm.
Boys, my wife is amazing. Let me tell you.
What is it?
I'm a little jealous.
She
What'd you
brought
get this
dinner.
week?
She made mac and cheese with bacon in it,
Hey,
Soy.
and then it looks like either pork or chicken and broccoli with cheese.
Um,
Cheers.
there wasn't too much flying or like, but the love thing with Buck, and she was Polish. She was not Belgian, Bengal Bandit. And I think that was pretty important. A lot of them had been evacuated out of Poland, and that, I mean, you guys know the importance of Poland in World War II, yes?
Yeah, so if Putin says Poland, if you listen to his most recent interview, it was Poland's fault while the Germans.
yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, he wild. But modern day, or I guess not modern day, but back to World War II. Like once Poland got invaded, that's when England and France joined World War II. That's when it became a world war and everything like kicked off after that. But yeah, the Polish were fighting, and then her husband stayed there and probably got shot down. And like she said that he's a prisoner of war or he's dead in some potato field, and they were drinking vodka. That's that whole thing and everything. I don't know.
She got over him pretty fast.
I don't know.
Didn't love that. Show's weird. Just the whole thing didn't mend with me too well. Click with me. Yeah, it that whole scene just felt too long, drawn out. To like 3 different bars. Then they went back to the hotel. Just kept on.
I mean, you say too fast. I mean, that
Doing
could have
their
been 2
thing.
years ago when he. Well, this is 44. I mean, yeah, it could have
It's
been a while when
43.
he got shot down.
It's 43. That's 4 years.
Oh, it's 43. So it could have been a while when he. Yeah.
Yeah, because 39 was when they invaded. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was 39, but I'm seeing which month.
Oh, I don't know that.
When did Germany invade Poland? September. And this was happening late August, early September. Yeah. So this has been 4 years. Is that enough time to get over? I don't know. But besides that, I don't know. I think maybe she probably has PTSD and everything as well, having to be evacuated away from
So
home.
what was? They were celebrating that one bomber. They hit their 25 missions. And when did? Because like you saw Bayou because I showed you the records online. Like
Yeah.
my wife's grandfather flew, was it 37 missions? So they upped it to something right after we had air superiority with fighters. They upped the number of missions.
They upped it to 30 and then 35, but we're not near. That's 44, 45 area. Yeah.
But that was just like this guy. So, but that was just, it wasn't, you had to go home. You could say no and stay.
Yeah. You could
But
stay. Some of the gunners and whatnot stayed.
because this guy mentioned the guy the lone bomber that made it from this bomb run.
Yeah.
His it said he flew. Here it goes. He flew 52 missions.
Mm.
Lieutenant Robert Rosen something, I don't know.
Rosenthal?
Flew. Yes, Rosenthal.
Yeah, Rosenthal is the lawyer. That was his first mission.
Oh well, yeah. Well, he flew 52 missions.
Well, thanks, Eddie. You just told us his whole story arc. So anytime he goes up, we know what's going on. Hey, it looks like you. No, but so the it was 25 missions, and that was the very beginning of the episode. Jeez, stop. Um, and
And was shot down on his 52nd mission. Oh, damn.
Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah.
Now I'm all lost.
Said he lost both his legs, and one of them ended up in his ear. It was weird.
My name is Jeff.
Okay. So now we're back after those short messages. So Rosenthal, I guess he survives that first mission. Well, yeah, because he does tell the other girl. But some of the other things that I was thinking about was so they had the 25. I wonder if that crew didn't go to Africa, and that could be why he had a bit more missions and all of that. Yeah. I do know that they were mix and matching air crews a whole lot, and so the 20, I guess that was them as a crew all hit 25 missions, but for Buck and Bucky, for them to get their missions had to be pretty difficult because they weren't in charge of a plane. They would just be filling in and kicking the pilot out, and then yeah, which is pretty weird. Because then the co-pilot would go and be the tail gun in some situations. It's pretty interesting.
The co-pilot would go be the tail gunner.
Mm-hmm.
He'd go to the complete opposite side of the damn plane.
I
Yep.
think they mentioned that in this one, didn't they?
The last episode I talked about that. But yeah. I thought you knew things.
I know all about Robert Rosenthal.
Excellent. Is there anything else so I thought there was some good parts. Oh, let's talk about the mechanic scenes for a little bit. Okay.
The good part.
We can end with that. I really love that. I'm curious to what you guys were thinking about those scenes.
I mean, I thought it was pretty badass, right? Freaking taxiing down the runway, and the guy's still trying to repair the plane. Gets the engine up just in time, take off. You know, that could have been for dramatic effects, but thought it was really well done.
I was wondering if how much of that was real, like actually climbing up in there when it's going down the taxiway to take off, or if that was just for the show, to be like, it would do anything. But could you really do that?
So we weren't
Why
taxing.
does it all the time.
We were not taxing, but I have videos of me working inside the engine while the engine's running and whatnot. Props 2 feet away from me. I can send it to you guys later, and it's just going, and I'm up there looking for a leak and everything. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but back then, I understand back then they'd let you get away with a lot more than they would today.
Yeah.
I know that you'd probably
The
climb up in there,
importance-
they're going down. They'd be like, "You're in a lot of trouble. You're demoted. You're whatever." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they do
importance of
to
it,
you. I don't know.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
firing squad. I don't know what they do.
Not a firing squad.
They need to bring that back. But anyways,
Yeah. What?
nothing. Sorry.
So there was some things that some people may miss. While he was working on that, it looked like he dropped something and he caught it.
Oh yeah.
If he didn't catch that, they're not flying.
Yeah.
If there's lost hardware or anything, that plane's not going anywhere because that engine could potentially FOD out. Yeah, that's it was. It could have been dramatic. Usually I would drop it, and there like 13 curse words would fly right after it, and I'd probably punch something because that's screwdrivers being flung as well. That's just how it is. But I don't know. The importance of that was I really enjoyed that and everything.
See, because I watched it more like, to me, I mean, maybe it is, maybe something like that actually did happen, and that's just like, well, that's fucking crazy. But I watched it like, okay, this is a bit over the top. I was like, this
Uh,
is getting silly. Where he's like, I'm gonna climb up in it. You go and take off. I'll be up here working on it. I'm gonna drop this thing. I caught it. Oh, let's go again. I was just like, this is getting silly.
I
so
thought that was the coolest part of the episode.
there, this is a different book and a different war. It's called Blind Bat, and it's actually about the unit I was with in Japan when they were in Vietnam. So this plane had landed on a runway, and it was too short for them to take off with 3 engines. And one engine starter was getting stuck. So what he did was he got a Band-Aid, some bubble gum, and a shoelace. And while the other 3 engines were running under mortar fire, he went up there, MacGyvered this engine starter, and then they're taxiing, and he's running, and then hits in the hatch, puts it back in, and they take off.
Good God.
So that happened in
So
Vietnam.
that is something. If I saw that, I'd been like, well, that's just silly.
Yeah,
If I saw that in a show, you know.
and it sometimes reality is even more dramatic than like
Yeah,
what you can
yeah.
come up with like writing. Like there's scenes, there's stories of them in Burma, and this happened in Vietnam as well, but definitely in Burma for the Flying Tigers, they were using elephants to hold oil drums to refuel planes and whatnot, just because it was more effective than them all using a hose and a pump.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like however you can get it done, they get the mission done. And it just shows like these unsung heroes were doing anything and whatever it took to get the planes in the air.
Wow.
Maybe it was dramatic, but I think it could be very real in some of the stuff that they were doing.
Did they train y'all on how to do that? Fixing planes while they're moving?
I've fixed planes with engines running, like it's ready to take off, but not while it's moving.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think that's a little, but we hinted at it, but when that plane doesn't come back, or when none of the planes come back, and they touched them, it's like, hey, did this plane have an engine fail? Were they so? Because we talked about it, if one plane is slow, it falls out of formation, and when they're not in formation, that's when they're vulnerable, and the Germans would pick them off because then they wouldn't have, instead of having 5 guns to worry about, they had 20. But when the plane's by itself, they just go at it head on, and it's they can get it relatively safe. So if one engine fails, like what's going to happen there? Where's everyone's
Yeah,
cameras going? What's going on here?
they're all fapping.
I guess. Jesus Christ. So that engine. Oh, you had a phone call. That's all good. So
No, my daughter's not.
okay, that engine fails because of the mechanic or whatnot. Are they thinking that? Is that why the plane went down? Like, man, could you imagine having
Yeah.
that guilt?
No, God, no.
Hmm.
And that plane's your baby. I mean, that is your baby, and so that crew is your baby.
Yeah,
You feel responsible for all of that.
that's
Yeah.
where they're the crew's chief. They're there to
Yeah.
take care of them and everything to get that plane off the ground to go drop bombs on moms. Warheads on foreheads.
That's crazy.
Dang.
But I really appreciated that touch to the maintainers and everything. I really did.
Because you were a crew chief, right?
Still am.
Oh, you are, but you're just not on the.
I'm an instructor now.
Yeah, I got you. But
Yeah.
you're still a crew chief. I got you.
Yeah. I
He
still.
does the cool stuff.
So we do some training with VR now. That's pretty cool. They're working on that. Yeah. But I've been a dedicated crew chief on 2 planes, so I had 2 babies.
Mm. I read that yet again, Elvis's character, is it Buck or Bucky?
Bucky.
So I read that Bucky, then he flew, then B-29s, he flew in Korea, and then he flew B-52s, and he flew in Vietnam.
Hey!
What?
I knew he lived. I didn't know.
Spoilers.
Well, there's not going to get in all that. But
I get that.
gotta-
I
we
didn't
gotta
know if he
stop doing
lived
this.
in the
We don't even know if he's alive.
I didn't know if he lived in the Stalag though. I knew he was in the fucking March because he has that one scene where he's in the snow and he's like,
I thought you already said you knew he's. I thought you already said on here he lived through the whole war.
No
I
more of
didn't
these
know. No,
stupid
we didn't know
spoilers,
that.
people.
Oh, I made all that up.
God.
I made all of that up.
Can you disconnect him from the podcast now?
Oh jeez. He
That's
didn't want to show up on this one because he didn't like the episode. But now that we're talking about it, it makes me show like they did some pretty good things, but maybe
You made some good points.
yeah.
There's also a lot of the episode that was straight trash.
no. I don't think. I just
It could
don't
be
think the
resurrection. It
episode
could
was
be
done well. All the story, all the stuff is cool. I just don't think they did it well.
It could be fixed. The
you
biggest
know-
point is Bucky going down, and if they do start the next episode or at some point the next episode show that,
I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like it's gonna start off like Blaine said, like it's.
I
just,
hope so.
I feel like it's gonna be like Apple TV symbol, meow, and that's
hope so.
exactly how it freaking starts, and you just hear him going, 12 o'clock high, and then it's just like.
Did you hear in the podcast they mentioned? And I told you about that 12 o'clock high movie, our last podcast.
Yeah.
Did you hear the podcast they were talking about? They said they think that's the best World War II movie ever made.
Well, it's not the best show because it's gonna be Masters of the Air, so. I think this could have been a stepping stone instead of a step, and the next episode is going to build off of everything, and it's just going to be buck
I'm
wild.
hoping they didn't slip on ice.
I really
Fucking
think this is.
wild.
I really think this is going to be one of those slow episodes that when the season's done and you rewatch it, then it all ties in. You're like, oh, this actually was really good. This was a good episode.
I wonder if
Because I feel like it's been so long. But I feel like the first times watch Pacific or Band of Brothers, like those slower episodes, you're so hyped for something to happen. I feel like even those then were letdowns.
Yeah,
But then
not
you
as
watch it as a
vivid.
whole now, and you're like, oh god, every episode's amazing. That episode's
I
amazing.
may or may not have skipped episode 1 of Band of Brothers when I watched it before the show came out.
What?
I wanted to
Man,
get straight to
they-
D-Day.
The David Schwimmer parts were great.
Yeah, they were, and it was building. But if that was the only, so
Yeah.
we're watching these, and there's a whole week in between. But
Yeah.
like when I watched that, when I could actually understand it, and I was like, man, I watched them all, and it made sense, and they were all building upon each
Yeah.
other,
Mhm.
to where we've got a couple more days. Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time seems to be when they're coming out. Don't know
That's
why.
so weird because they say it's Friday. I don't understand that.
It's
I don't
Friday
understand.
in England because it's a UK show.
It's at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Is it a
No, it's
UK
not.
show? Is it?
No.
Midnight in the UK.
A lot of the
I think
actors
so.
were British. They talked about that in that one podcast that Champy named, Eddie, because of COVID and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But but if it's then in England, it's coming out like at 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
That's weird. I don't get it. Yeah.
Well,
Whatever.
let's say real quick. I went back and I was curious how many views you were getting on the other ones here that you've been posting and that we've talked about. And McSlash Videos posted a comment on the last one I thought was pretty interesting, saying the other two wings that attacked the ball bearing factory in Schweinfurt, but the Luftwaffe, sorry, I'm not good at
Luftwaffe.
German here, Luftwaffe having refueled and rearmed tore them all to pieces as well.
Oh,
The
fuck.
factories were back in production within a month. Which I thought was interesting because we said it kind of shut down a lot of their production for extended period of times. Maybe the ball bearing factory that this group actually did, but I thought that was interesting. I'm assuming that's true, that they were back in production shortly after. So it's almost
Yeah,
like,
it was quick.
well shit, that
That's-
thing, like you lost all those guys on this mission and they got things back up and running pretty dang quick.
Well, that's you'll see. I'm sure they're going to get to it. This is the start of the Black Week, is what it's called, and this that we didn't see where Bucky goes down is like the first mission, and then there's Black Thursday, which is the really bad one, which we're going to get to, and that's when then the Army Air Corps decided after this to rethink their strategy on bombings because they're like, maybe this wasn't the best idea to go out here in the middle of the day on clear skies Maybe the English might have been doing something, thinking a little more about this without. We don't have fighter support, and we're out here in the middle of the day,
No.
and so they're gonna quickly try to revamp that strategy.
Yeah. I also
I
thought it was interesting. His little quip here too. Side note: U.S. Air Force bombardiers were enlisted NCOs, but when the Air Force realized the bombardiers would fly the plane, basically giving orders to the pilot, all bombardiers were sent to officer candidate school and then promoted to lieutenant.
that's on my video.
Yeah, it's okay. I got your back. Shout out to Mix/videos.
Oh, thanks. I need to go look at that. So I've been doing some research on the Norden bomb site, and
Yes, it's fascinating. Yeah, this is fascinating.
Holy cow! So the reason why the Americans were doing daytime precision bombing was because they were told by Norden that you could hit a pickle barrel from 20,000 feet, and you could actually choose which pickle you wanted to hit.
Those poor pickles.
Statistically, only 16% of the bombs were within 1,000-foot radius of where they were supposed to be.
Wow.
16% in 1,000 foot when they're supposed to be able to hit a pickle barrel from 20,000 feet. And yeah, they were testing the Norden at a much lower altitude and also like different conditions, i.e., they weren't getting shot at. So yeah, it was kind of a lie, and so they made it. It was a lot of propaganda, like it was the second best secret behind the nuke. Yeah, well,
It's
the
all
Germans
bullshit.
the Germans had found them, didn't find that it helped anything better than their site. The Navy completely scrapped it because it was originally the Navy who ordered all the Nordens, and the Army was the one who bit into it, and then the Air Corps is the one who trained with them. And they
Wow.
forced all of the bombardiers to make a creed that if they got shot down, they would not say anything, and they had to be locked in a safe and everything. So it was just a bunch of propaganda.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, so because Bayou sent me a video explaining all this, and it was, I mean, I wasn't lying. It was truly fascinating. I mean, it's literally just all about greed and money. It's all it is. It's corporate greed, corporate money. Corporate
America.
greed, all that, and them bullshitting all this stuff ended up costing how many people their lives? Because then they were like, "This thing's amazing. We can go out there in the broad daylight and we can hit whatever the fuck we want to hit." And it's all bullshit. I mean, they made up shit saying that the what was it inside of it were made out of like Black Widow
Oh, so
webbing or that girl's
so
hair out of
the
the west.
crosshair.
Like what the fuck?
I didn't
Like
know
picking
that.
your Harry Potter wand.
I didn't know that's where the crosshair came from, but
Yeah, it was all
apparently
made
it
up.
was
They just made up all
from
this
hair.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And just
Well,
from this
explain.
girl's hair from the Midwest, like actually her hair, it was God. And people bought all this shit. They bought it. I mean, they're smart people. There were smart people, higher ups, who were like, hell yeah, we could take that girl's hair and we could hit a pickle in a pickle jar
People have
from
sleep with,
18,000 feet in the sky. We're gonna do it from that girl's hair.
Well, they
Who
didn't
the
get too
fuck?
Wow.
people
mad.
sleep with crystallized rocks next to their bed, Eddie.
Who thought? It's the same damn people who are like, we're going to give all these enlisted men cigarettes because it's good for their lungs. It opens up their lungs. It's the same damn people. It's the same damn people.
I think they knew that cigarette. I don't know.
No, that's what they told the troops. These are good for your lungs.
Oh.
Here's cigarettes.
There's some
And then-
old ass people who smoked cigarettes a long time.
And then how many of those people, my grandfather, one of them, who then got addicted to them because he joined in World War II, smoked them his whole life and they killed him. That's what he died from.
How old is he?
But when he died, I mean, that's the one. He died in 2004. So I don't know.
He was born in the 20s.
Yeah,
He's 80 something.
yeah, he was 80 something. My grandma died last year. She was 97.
God
So,
damn.
yeah,
80
whatever.
something's still really good though.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And he
I'd be
smelled.
happy if I lived to 80, but I doubt that's gonna happen.
He smelled
Maybe
like
prolonged his
cigarettes.
life.
Yeah.
And he smoked non-filtered too. So
Jesus Christ, cowboy killers.
yeah.
Fuck.
But yeah, so that it shows why it's going to be so bloody, and that these
Mhm.
next episodes, like this was just a little bit of a step. It's not a trip. It's just a bit of a step. And the next episode, I'm telling you, I think, like Baleen said, 12 o'clock high.
Like I said, I don't mind the slow episodes. I just thought this one was done poorly. But I'm hopeful at the end of the series, I'll go back and rewatch it and be like, it flows and it's good. I hope. As we'll say.
Yeah. It'll be good. It'll be good.
But I want to know. I got to talk to you about you, because my wife's grandfather, he flew B-17s, then he flew B-29s in Korea,
flew.
and yeah, and he flew B-52s in Vietnam, and so did Bucky. I want to know if they were ever in the same deal, if they fucking knew each other. I want to look and see. I got to help me figure that out.
How would I know?
I don't fucking know about you because you're in the Air Force. God.
Yeah.
Classified.
Nope, definitely not.
Nope.
Nope. Any closing thoughts, Baleen, besides the emotes?
My name's Jeff.
Sorry. No, not really. I'm excited to see where the new episode's gonna go.
Mm.
I'm gonna stick to my guns here and say that we're gonna open up in a pretty hefty, guns a-blazing.
I'm with
scene.
Baleen.
I think it's gonna say the
Let's
date.
put $10 on it.
I'll put a cup of tea on it.
All right.
Oh, is that a Wookiee? Yeah.
Closing thoughts, Bengal.
Uh,
Oh, I'm flacking your idea.
what?
Nope.
I feel like I mean, I'll just reiterate what I said. I just don't think it was done well, but I hope by the end of it all,
Baleen, shut the fuck up!
good and stuff.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Okay. Yeah. Anything? Closing thoughts, Philly?
Ready for Friday. Let's go.
Yes, I am ready.
And maybe
for
get
it.
rid of your soundboard for next time.
No. The soundboard's here to stay. I think we just got to be. The next episode is going to be so good that we're not even going to be focused on it. We're probably.
I
just
can't
gonna
hear
be-
you.
We're just
Please
gonna
get
be.
rid of that one, please.
We're gonna be so
Get rid of
into
that
it.
one. Get rid
So
of that one.
into it. Ken Lemons is gonna be fucking busy fixing all these damn planes. Yeah.
Wow.
Rosie Rosenthal, we're definitely gonna focus on him. I wonder if we're gonna see Helen anymore, the USO girl, and then I don't even know if they gave a name to the Polish girl. I think she was one and done.
It was
Pretty
Paulina.
Paulina.
I don't
Yeah, the
know.
whole point was that they weren't supposed to see each other again. So.
Pole got
That's
the
what they
pole all
said.
right. I'll tell you that much.
Hey yo.
Hey, yo!
But I mean
Bing
that
bong.
that is
Nope.
true to the history. A lot of the British men were out fighting elsewhere, and then the Americans were there and hot and ready. So they made more money than the British military, and they were there.
The phrase was oversexed, overpaid, and over here is what they said. What the Brits said.
Yeah. So
That's the phrase. When I went over for the 50th of V-Day, when my grandparents renewed their wedding vows, and I was like in 6th grade or something, and I remember them saying, they were like, "Oh, you Yanks, you were oversexed, overpaid, and over here," like telling my grandfather. My grandfather's like, "Yeah," and I was like, I was like, gross.
your grandfather had sex,
Gross, Grandpa. Like,
My name's
shit.
Jeff.
sexual relations with that woman.
Oh.
All right, I think we're gonna end it there. Stop it! Oh, jeez.
Nope.
Okay, this has been good. This is good.
Episode
right, I
3 was
appreciate it.
successful.
Yes, episode. All right, I'm canceling it!